Hi guys, my name is Grace Arzola, and today we are going to talk about W.E.B Dubois and the souls of black folks. And this is an incredible masterpiece, and I cannot wait to get into it, so let's go. Allow me to introduce you to W.E.B Dubois. Du Bois. I want to say boys, but it's Du Bois. So if I say that during the video, I'm sorry. Du Bois was born February 23rd, 1868 in Massachusetts. His father left the family and Du Bois' mother raised him. He actually attended predominantly white schools and churches growing up, so he really didn't see discrimination too much yet. As what it was said in one of the research things that I've done. Du Bois was very educated, going to schools like Fisk University, Harvard University, where he got his doctorate degree. He's a very educated man. He moved to Atlanta University and started to study the ways and surroundings of African Americans. So he wanted to see the lifestyles and how they were and how the change in racism was. He is famous for saying the problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line. And we will get to that later, but that is a famous saying. Du Bois became a famous figure in movements in the United States and colonialism in Africa and Asia. So he worked everywhere, and he preached, and what we read from what he's written is from the heart. That is how you can tell. A lot of times most of the times, the backstory of the author or whoever's creating a masterpiece or art, the background story is so important because that is where you find, okay, this is why that person thinks that way. Or, this is why this piece turned out this way. And you can really feel the emotion within this piece. He devoted his life to show that equality doesn't exist in our world. And he touched hearts because he touched hearts and he touched my heart because this is still true today. And that's a big problem that we have in this world, and it's something that is easier to talk about nowadays because of movements, but it hasn't always been an easy topic for a lot of people to talk about. Especially back here when he had written this was something that people were like, okay, this is heartfelt. The audience is clearly, to me, for white people to see how African Americans live and the racism that comes with that. The Souls of Black Folks is a masterpiece, and it exposes racism and shows people what it is like to live as an African American in America. And that is important because America is supposed to be this free country where we are all supposed to be equal, and it's not. It's not actually that. And it's still, we have come a long way, but we still have a lot of ways to go. That's a whole nother topic. But the audience seems to be for the white people, of course. This piece exposes racism, like I said, and it shows the average white person what it is like to be black in a racist world. He uses the term color line. Let's talk about color line. Color line, he says, is the separation that we have between black and whites. So during that time, and this time, I'm going to say this time too, because we still have issues. There is a color line, and it's not as bad as back then, but the color line separated people, and it also separated opportunities. So imagine being black in this time and wanting to do better, wanting to be better, wanting to be successful, but the whole world around you is telling you that you're not even legal, or you're not, this time the laws cause problems still, but I mean, imagine trying to raise your success level as a Black person and not being able to do that. And that's actually going to go over to the term he uses as the veil. The veil is described the way the racism made it hard for whites to see Blacks as true Americans and Blacks to see themselves as anything other than what they are portrayed. So that's kind of like what I'm saying. It's hard to see. The veil is, you can't see past what people are telling you that you are. And that's got to be hard on people's mental health, actually. So this exposes so much more than just racism. It's what they've gone through. It's the mental health, that the problems they've caused, the success level. This is an amazing piece because it's actually pouring out. To me, he was pouring out his heart, saying, look at this. Look at what we're dealing with. Look at what we have. And look at the United States around us, because it's not what it's supposed to be. So he wanted to lift the veil for equality and kind of use that terminology to make people understand that it is hard, and it was hard, and it was terrible, and the things that went on were absolutely insane for people just trying to be an American. And I believe that this story really did a really good job expressing and pulling those emotions, because that is what's needed with a topic like this, to me, is that emotion. And this is a time where the laws caused problems still, and there were separations of Blacks and whites still, and the racism, and people were, whites were being successful and getting what they wanted and having money and having property and all these things. And then you have African Americans who are trying and fighting, and the only difference that they ever had was the skin color. And that, if you just let that sit there for a minute, that's mind-blowing. That's absolutely mind-blowing. The only difference is skin color. So this beautiful piece was amazing to me, because I was able to really look at things differently. I see things, I agree with him completely. I always have felt this way. Still to this day, I still feel like we have a lot of progress. But it made me see things like the veil and the color line, and it made you really apply yourself to that life and try to understand what was going on. So this book, this piece that he wrote, really moved people. Controversies as well. A lot of people didn't like it. If you didn't like it, you probably didn't like it because you're racist, but whatever. But this was beautiful. This was amazing to read, and I really hope that you liked my overview of it. I think the symbolism in the veil is beautiful, and just being able to envision a veil like a border. That's a border between African Americans and success. And it's also a border between their own potential and their own mindset. So having all of those things in this piece and just explaining, it was amazing. So thank you for letting me share with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed. So I'll see you later.